That is so good. It's so creamy. The Biscoff spread on top, for me, is a must. It just really gives it that like strong Biscoff flavor. The base is buttery. It's just amazing. I highly recommend.
Hello everyone, today for our video project, we'll be showing you how to make a delicious unbaked Biscoff cheesecake. Of course, the whole process is witnessed by our dear Malayu friend Rahil to validate that our cakes are halal certified and produced safely. We start off by gathering about 250 grams of Biscoff biscuits that are already pre-crushed till they're almost sand-like-ish, and mix them gently with 50 grams of room temperature unsalted butter. The butter needs to be in a liquid state, so put them in your microwave for about 30 seconds. It should be able to melt them pretty quickly. Now that you've mixed them well, ensure every bit of the crumbs are coated with the butter. This gives the base of the cake a really strong and stable place for the rest of the cheesecake to lay comfortably on it. And now we're going to dump our Biscoff mix into our 2 baking molds, ensuring that they are spread evenly and pushed down properly, making sure that the whole mold is covered. Superb! Use whatever you have. I like to use this wooden rod or whatever you call it, and push them down firmly until they are compressed really well. And while we're at it, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Great shout out, but for real though, shout out to the other boys in my group for spending the time and money, especially GM, who was a huge help in this entire project from start to finish. But of course the others did help, and we couldn't have done it without them, especially my boy Javen, Rahil, and Jaden. After spending some time pounding down on your baking molds, it should look something like this, perfect and beautiful. We can move on to the next part of the process, which is the main cheesecake itself, with a tinge of that Lotus Biscoff taste in it. We're gonna need about 300 grams of cream cheese, so basically this one huge block of cheese. Dump it into your mixing bowl. Now to add an extra layer of flavor to it, we have decided to add about half a teaspoon of vanilla essence into the mix to give a sweet and Biscoffy taste to the end product. Get ready about 30 ml of full cream or heavy cream, whichever you like, and basically you can start mixing. Now this is a very long process which will take a while. Basically, as you're mixing them slowly ever so often, pour in a little of your milk until your mixture ends up with a thick liquid cream. Now for about 5 minutes-ish, halfway through your mixture, it should look something like this, white and creamy. Next, we're adding our Biscoff spread, which should heat up in the microwave for about 10 seconds to make it easier to mix. This should give the cheesecake the Biscoff flavor that we wanted, and continue to mix them while pouring your milk. Continue to mix them until every last drop of your milk is poured, and try not to make a mess like our dear friend. Don't worry, production crew will clean that up. Now that you're done, give it one final stir and we'll get ready our 2 baking molds. Carefully pour them into your mold and make sure that they are evenly separated and that there is no air in them, just by knocking the 2 molds on the side to release the air bubbles. Now the final step is to just add one more thin layer of your Biscoff spread, so set them in a microwave again for 30 seconds. This time we need to be more of a liquid substance than before and pour them evenly. We forgot to film this part, but that's okay. Set them in the refrigerator for 6 hours and come back to enjoy them. And yes, I know we were off frame in this shot. So 6 hours later, after the cake has pretty much solidified and basically become like this kind of ice cream-ish, the cake is pretty much done. I like to use a knife to kind of just shave off the sides to detach the cake itself from the mold. You can either try pushing it down from underneath or do whatever this is. Splendid. After a couple tries, it should just plop out right like that. You can do the same for the other as well. Awesome. Now right now it does not really look that pleasing, plus the white stuff on the top, I think it's just moisture. Possibly due to us putting it in the freezer and then back down in the chiller to speed up the waiting process. Now grab a knife. We're basically going to go around the edges to make sure that the sides are evenly spread to make it more nicer. Oh, and I put the kitchen towel just so I don't have to clean my tables again. Now once you've finished cleaning off the other one, it's time for a taste test. Cut them into small cake-like pieces and be sure to clean your knife beforehand. And now you can try them. Overall, I think the taste of the cake turned out pretty good. It's not too sweet, and you can taste the Biscoff flavor in it. The texture is not so bad as well. If I were to describe it, it's kind of like a very smooth and creamy like texture that is very similar to what your normal cheesecake tastes like. Plus, the Biscoff base is just as good as expected. Also, I have my uncle coming in to try it out as well. He said it was not that bad for a school project, which I guess it's a good sign. Now we're finished. I highly recommend trying this unbaked cheesecake for yourself. It's simple and you can even try it with other flavors to mix in, which would not even be that complicated. Overall, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy your cake.